supposed to beat me, really beat me
Denzel
then.
was balling out against
Denzel
Ray
was
Allen.
really balling out and beat him 10-0. That's a story that Spike Lee told. Shouts out Spike. Number 2, Training Day.
Oh, Joe, that one right there. That's my favorite.
I need to
Training Day.
you know what I'm saying? I need to see Alonzo during the Watts riots. What was going on?
God.
What was happening?
I'm there.
How
Check
was
it
he?
out.
Show me his rookie. What was he? Because he was a dog.
Man.
He was. Oh my gosh! And the way that Denzel played that. Oh my.
Yeah.
Speechless.
Yeah.
And then my last one, of course, is Fences. August Wilson's Fences.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's a stage play. I encourage anyone to go out and go watch the theater. Go watch. Don't even just go to like, catch Broadway. Yeah, catch Broadway and everything like that. Go to your local theater.
That's dope.
Go there. Go. I did local theater one time at the Granville Arts Center in Grand Prairie. No, I'm sorry. Excuse me. They're gonna get me in Garland.
Better get it right now.
In Garland, but like just the love that the people in the community have, and they pack those theaters out, and the love that the actors like. That's a committed actor that is going to local theater to do local theater because you're not getting paid. Mm-hmm. You may get a stipend. You may not get a stipend, but you're doing it purely out of the love. So like, I'm just going to give an example. I'm going to keep it pushing. So our preparation for the play that we did, I think we practiced for November, about 4 months.
Wow.
And at this time, I was commuting from Arlington to Garland for rehearsals and then going back home and doing that religiously. And it was all, I think out of the end of that, I got a stipend for like $120. I wasn't complaining because I love the art.
Arlington to Garland.
That's far. That is a hike. Mm-hmm. That is a hike, but that's the area that I was in because of you, Denzel. Oh my God!
I'm giving flowers.
I'm giving flowers.
You're giving flowers
because I'm underrated. Okay. And Denzel, you last episode was entitled "The Underrated." There was a I'm a reference this podcast. There was a podcast that I listened to. It was like it was recorded in 2017. And I'm gonna give you all the podcasts. It was the Hollywood Reporter podcast, but in specific, there was a interview with Denzel Washington, and in this interview, Denzel, this is the reason why I signed up to do theater. Denzel said, all great actors start in the theater. And I said, well, if he said it, I gotta sign up. I gotta go do some theater. I gotta figure out my way around there. So Denzel, I'm giving you your flowers. I didn't even recognize that I was giving you your flowers, man. Mm-hmm. I didn't even recognize that. Congratulations on your Medal of Freedom. Congrats on everything that you've accomplished in your career. I can't wait to see how you go out with a bang. I know you want to transition into producing. Your sons is dope. Your family is dope. The whole shebang, man. I'm very, very proud of you. Thank you, Denzel, for everything that you've done for us in this art world. Nobody does it better than the Watts Podcast Network. Thank you for listening to By Far The Dopest Version. The podcast is sponsored by The Watts Announcer. The Watts Announcer is a media brand that covers the amazing emerging talents in the entertainment industry, including movies, TV, and more. The inaugural episode features the cast of Frame of Reference. Hosted by Amanda Gatson, the exclusive interview will be available only on the Watts Productions YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe for notifications. All right, welcome back to By Far the Dopest Version, where culture meets insight and everyday stories collide with the grand stage of history. All right. Now today we're gonna take a dive into politics, in my type of dive. All right, and we're not talking about just the spectacle that goes on in Washington. We always see on a larger scope what is happening between just the president and the foreign policy and the things that they show us. But we're going to talk about the power dynamics that start within our neighborhoods, because that is where true government starts, right in your neighborhood. So as Dr. Cornel West reminds us, democracy matters because it forces the nation to account for its soul. I'm going to say that again. Hold on. Democracy matters because it forces the nation to account for its soul. And we got a problem with accountability. Oh, yeah, I said it. We have a very, very big problem with accountability. But from there, we will also examine a rare moment when former presidents, President Obama and President Trump, they were under the same roof for President Carter's funeral, and it sent the internet into a little bit of a frenzy. And am I gonna be that transparent?
Please.
I'm gonna be that transparent. I looked at it and I saw him, the laughter going on. A bit of my heart was relieved, and then a bit of me was like, that's the game. That's the game. Like let's get into it.
Okay, let's get into it.
So when we're talking about local politics, I'm discussing like the overlooked importance of your local elections. Now, it's cute to rant and rave about the president. I see very few people like on my Facebook or my Instagram where they're posting about local elections, posting about the mayor and everything like that. I got presented with a question about the city where I live, and they said, "Who's your mayor?" Okay. I was silent. I don't know who my mayor is. 100%. Do you know who your mayor is? It's one of those things that has a direct impact on education, the education system within your community, on housing, on justice within your community, and things of that sort. So politics doesn't just necessarily start in Washington, D.C. Now, we may have that thought because, for real, honestly, it's been a spectacle for the past. I'm gonna say for me, my first time voting, it's been a spectacle since 2008, and my very first time voting was when Barack Obama was eligible to be president. Yes, I voted for him. No, it was not because he was black. That was just an ad hoc. I voted for. I can say this. I voted for Barack Obama at that time because of the Affordable Care Act. I didn't understand, why would you not want someone in this country to be healthy? Why would you not want someone in this country to have access to health care? Are you like that? That makes no sense to me. And then, of course, it got hijacked and codified into Obamacare. And then you had people who are ignorant to what the real term is, voting against it, and then losing their Medicare benefits or their universal care benefits, and then being like, "What the heck?" Like, yeah, that's the Affordable Care Act. They codified it. It's just one of those things. It's those little caveats that you really have to pay attention to in politics. So in discussing local politics, of course, I'm big. I speak from the reference of I was a substitute teacher, so I'm big on the school districts. Yeah, especially on good school districts. Every parent wants to put their kid in a good school district, but even if you're not able to put your kid in a good school district or one that's failing, your local elections, what you do locally, that'll help you. That'll help you make the decision of who's on the school board and figuring out what is going to be the best way to elevate your community in terms of education. Because especially where we live, we, as a parent, like which schools and school districts, like, no, that's not good. Or particular schools within a certain school district. And you're just like, okay, not that school. He can go to that school district, but he can't be at that school. He's got to be at the other school. But these are all things that we take place in our local elections. So we have these moments where we're complaining, where we're going right versus left, liberal and conservative. It's tiring on the national level, especially because we only talk about it once every 4 years. Of course, I got a feeling that this next 4 years, we're probably going to be saying a lot of things with President Trump back in office. But that's a different story, since we're talking about inciting change directly in front of you. All right. You got to remember that civic change rarely begins with grand federal gestures. All right. It happens in the deliberations of the school boards, like I just said, the city councils, and quiet community interventions. That is really what it's about. So take that into mind, take that into consideration. I know a lot of us out here I'm going to speak for myself, we're kind of tired of the political. It's like every day there's something new in the news on the national level, even sometimes locally, that you start to get burnout. And I'm going to be transparent. And I think that's where you start to have the people that don't vote.
Facts.
That do not vote.
Facts.
And I'm gonna put it out there. I didn't vote
in the last federal
I
election.
did not vote.
Yeah.
I did not vote in the last, and so if I didn't vote in my federal election, that means I wasn't paying attention to my local elections either. And that's
full transparency. I'm not deep into the local election yet.
That's the thing. Now we're aware. Now it's like, okay, now Joe, you really got to make the change, especially if you feel like that's a place where you're really going to be for a long period of time. But I didn't vote, and I know that some people are probably already no, you still here, but I'm always, I look at it as my non-voting. It was a way of like, America, show me who you are. I'm gonna sit this one out. I remember just waking up again. Oh no, I didn't even wake up. I watched the elections pour in, and as they were pouring in, I knew that Vice President Harris, I was like, it's not gonna happen.
Okay.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I saw, he was raking in the votes.
Yeah.
Raking in the votes.
Yeah.
And I know someone out there is like, you should have voted. Your vote would have helped.
Would it though, Joe?
I don't think so. Not on that one. Not on that one. But it's like, I think as a overall, just the hope that you have for America as a man, as a black man, to like really see like, yo, who are y'all going to choose? What are y'all going to pick? And then that's what you go and pick. And it's like, okay, you're continually telling me who you are and what you are. So you get a little bit of fatigue on that level.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important, and I'm turning it back around, to get down on those local levels. But that smile between President Trump and Barack Obama sent the world the internet spiraling.
For
and
all
like,
we know, they got a group chat with the presidents together, and they just, for all we know.
But think about it. It was pointed out to me earlier this week, you are in a super elite group.
Yeah.
There's only 4 alive.
Oh, so
there's
it's
Clinton,
Bush,
George W. Bush, George Bush,
Obama.
So 5.
You were having a good conversation with President Obama at President
I
Carter's
was.
funeral.
And you'd like to know what it was? Oh. Everybody wants to know. I know, I wouldn't want to, but we were having some crazy conversation. Why do you asking a question like that? I don't think you want to know. You might not.
Yeah, Trump.
Yeah. So think about it. There are 5 presidents. That's one hand.
Yeah.
That is such a unique group. And then of course you have to understand that they have codes that they have to follow.
Sure.
Like why it definitely would look away if Barack didn't say, and I'm glad it was Barack.
Me too.
I don't think it could have been a better person.
Yeah.
Say what you want about him, whatever feelings you have about him. I would first ask yourself, why do you have these feelings about him? Be honest with yourself.
And can we flip it too? Why do certain people have certain feelings about Trump? I mean,
absolutely,
he can't be everything to all people.
No, he can't.
He is what he is. But I think we should accept people for what they give us, and then try to find the good. Maybe.
Yeah.
Is there any good in Trump? ?
I mean, we
shall see.
I mean, just coming from that, some of the stuff, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard to get behind him because of the stuff that he says.
I know.
And it's like, come on, man. Like
really?
Like, geez. Like, it's...
Because if that was Obama, he would know exactly what to say, the right way to say it.
And to keep it pushing.
Yeah.
And just going from right there. So... they're at President Carter's funeral, and if you're not familiar with President Carter, I definitely implore you to go and look up some of the things that he did. A couple of the things that Trump touched on, that he sold the Panama Canal back to Panama, and did, like, how that was bad for the U.S. economy and things of that sort. But I couldn't think of a president who was more in touch, I would say, with the humanitarian outreach than President Carter.
Yeah.
And it couldn't have been a better moment or a better place for them to be at than President Carter's funeral, to have that moment, especially with all the work that he had put in. His humility, it reminds me of Eleanor Roosevelt's belief that service is the rent we pay for being. Like, when's the last? Like, he was building houses at 99.
Yeah.
Like, he may hit a nail or two, but come on, he's 99.
Yeah.
But I think I read somewhere like he had done that every year, or he donated like a week of his life to Habitat for Humanity, and I could be wrong, but like every year since 1984.
Wow.
So for 30 plus years, he was, for 40 years, 30 plus. Yeah. So he was out there giving back. Tailored media and events that feed your undiscovered needs, period. The Watts Dome is an energetic hub on Patreon, inviting you to join our creative community. Members can access exclusive content, interviews, including special episodes from our top podcast, It Doesn't Work That Way, By Far The Dopest Version, and Everything Hidden. Additionally, subscribers will receive invites to special live events in cities like New York, Atlanta, Miami, Dallas, and Los Angeles, as well as unique tutorials. Being in the community, not being in front of a camera, not trying to do this and that. And I don't knock that because that's the time that we're in now. But the ethos of that president was I need to be in the community serving the people, because I feel like a lot of our politics have gotten away from serving the people.
For sure.
Serving the people. Like, what is a politician in DC that makes six figures have in common with someone in Dallas County who's barely pulling in 50?
Right. Struggling.
How you going to serve the people?
Yeah.
I think in order to serve the people, you have to come and work with the people. You got to be around the people. You have to be in the trenches, per se, with the people to really understand what's going on. It's easy to sit on an ivory throne and cast stones. It is very easy to do that.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter was a service leader. And I'm so glad you brought up this. There's a book I'm going to read by him. I'm going to commit myself to read at least 4 books this year. I'm not trying to overdo it. But one of them is a book that Jimmy Carter wrote in 2018 called Faith, A Journey for All.
Oh, beautiful.
And he definitely had that. He had a servant's heart, a humility heart. And let's make that cool again. Let's make that dope again in politics.
Absolutely. I think that is a very poignant thing to say. Mm-hmm. Service leader, being humanitarians to one another. And I don't get it too, because really, and I'm being, in all honesty, we are literally floating on a rock in the middle of outer space with no one. Yeah, you can build all the spaceships you want, but you're not going there yet.
What is the show? Danger, Will Robinson. That's what we had. We lost in space. We lost in space. Danger.
We are literally doing that, and that's why I like Yasin Bey, also known as Mos Def. Yasin Bey, he has he implores you to go and explore what a world passport is. Because he was in South Africa, and there was some discourse about his documents and everything like that, and he was like, "Yo, I am a citizen of the world."
Yes,
and that is really, we are citizens of the world. Like, yes, we come from different ethnic groups and different drawn geography lines, but when you get up in that airplane, you don't see no lines.
It's all of us in that 10 box.
It's everybody. Mm-hmm. Everybody. When you see a shot from outer space, what do you see? No, you don't see. The only thing you can see out there is the Great Wall of China. That's the only thing that you can see. But you don't see the geographic breakoffs and everything like that. And I know I'm saying it in its way, and somebody's probably like, it's a little more complicated than that. It's more complicated than being human.
What? Oh, okay. Facts.
Come on now, y'all. Come on, man. So, Trump and Obama at the funeral, funerals often unify people through shared loss. Mm-hmm. We see that a lot. But this gathering, it felt like a mirror held up to a divided nation. And I think that's what shocked people a lot.
Wow.
Because you have two people who presented themselves to be on polar opposites, right?
Yeah, he basically had the whole birther movement.
He started that.
Yes, Trump.
And then, you had Obama at the dinner when he made the joke about Trump.
Yes.
And that people are like, well, that's when it started. And that's when Trump was like, you know what, I'm going to be president. But you have these two people that epitomize a Democrat, a liberal. Mm-hmm. Of course, there's all different types of Democrats that fall deaf on people's ears. Then you have the Republican Party, which a lot of Republicans feel like the party has been hijacked. I agree with you. I really
can
do.
We even call it the Republican Party?
I think it's Trump supporters.
Correct.
You have to do it. Then but for the sakes of this conversation, I'm gonna say Barack Obama, Democrat, and you have Trump, Republican, and they're sitting next to each other at a funeral, laughing.
Yeah.
And then the speculation, what are they laughing at? What are they laughing about?
Everyone wants to know what that conversation
Everybody wants to know.
Yeah.
And Trump will probably say something and be like, well, we were talking about
on inauguration day.
I was talking to Obama and he said I was doing great.
I even got the improvement of Obama. Yeah.
That's exactly what it'll do. But I think it was polarizing because we went through up until election day, so much divisiveness. We've been so divided. Like, and
we're tired.
We're tired. Like, I think I remember when September 11th happened.
Mm-hmm.
I was 10 years old, and I remember, and I lived in Denver at this time, but I remember that it felt different.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody was just like a little more
kind,
a little more kind, a little more inclusive and everything like that. And then here we are. It's like we forgot.
It felt united. I felt like that was the first time in my lifetime that I've ever felt united in this country. Like we were truly the United States. It was like us against the world. Like who got next? Like 9/11 was that moment. And I went back. I didn't get to see it live, but everybody was telling me about it, the Trump and Obama. And I went back and looked it up on YouTube because I wanted to see the clip of it. And it felt like their laughter was a little bitty spark of united. Like, could Trump take that spark? Even though they may have been just like, hey, they could be saying God knows what.
Absolutely.
Right? But it could be a spark that could unite the country that we so badly needed as we go into the next 4 years.
I wholeheartedly believe that. And I think that's why when I saw that, I felt good. I was like, oh man, because there's so much uncertainty. We got Russia, we got China, we have Israel and Palestine, which I really want to understand that.
Okay. Yeah.
I really want to understand that, and honestly, I would be open to having someone who's Israeli
list of folks.
and someone who's Palestinian to come in, and then I would, who I'd like to? I would like to talk to a couple one is Israeli and one is Palestinian.
Oh, that's amazing.
Because I think that is like, how are you navigating this?
Yeah.
As what is it like? Of course, those are heavy things.
But something worth exploring. That
absolutely.
Would be, I think it's dope that we want to understand it. I'll make a note of that, a producer's note.
Absolutely. It's important that we understand and have these discussions and talk to one another and stop shutting down lines. Once again, talking about the local level, talking about the national level of government, it all comes down to what you're paying attention to, who you're paying attention to, and why you're paying attention to it. Don't just be outraged for the sake of being outraged. Do something about it. A Facebook post or an Instagram post does absolutely nothing but incite the comments. And then you have people click the comments and who's liking, da-da-da-da-da. Your politics is not won on social media. On social media, you know what I'm saying? So I need you to get involved on the local level, all right? It's a form of resistance against national narratives. Your state level as well, you can implement laws, and the one law that I give out, because I'm familiar with it, was when Colorado passed the medical marijuana law.
Okay, yeah.
It's not legal federally, but on the state level, the people voted for it.
Yes,
that's why they were able to do that, and now you see it's coming around more and more. Of course, I don't even know if that was 10 or 15 years ago when that all started up. But this is what I want from you all. All right, the final exhibit. Research your local political candidates, get involved with some grassroots movements, and understand their role in shaping your community. That is very important. That is what I want from you from this episode. That is absolutely it. Get involved on your local level. Get involved in the school board meetings. Get involved in going down and sitting in the town hall meetings. See your city will sell land right from under your feet to a corporation, and then you'll have a factory putting cancer over the neighborhood because you weren't involved. These are the type of things that go on locally.
Yeah.
These are the type of things that you need to be aware. So take away, be aware, be involved, be human. That's what I want for you all. So this is what I need as well. I know I just asked you for one thing. I'm going to ask you for something else. I want you to like, comment, and subscribe. All right. And of course, you can always head over to wattsproductions.com/podcast. Drop in reviews. Let me know what your thoughts are on politics. Let me know what your thoughts are on me not voting. Talk to me about it. Let's talk about it. I will not run from it.
I love that because we're probably going to get a lot of letters.
Come talk to me about it. No, but I appreciate you all for listening. We out.